stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, winter, Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, winter, Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, winter, Winternomics.
What up? What it do? Back in business, everybody. Late as fuck, I know. It's going to be a short show. But Marcus didn't really do much after last week if you looked at it, right? So all you acolytes who had a killer plan drawn up by myself and my son Liquefy, your plan's still in effect. You noticed that, right? How good is that? Can you guys imagine? Let me get that plan up, actually. So, well, one good plan can do, and a lot of focus we've had has been on slowing down. You know, a lot of people find the need to push the button every day to feel like they're trading, and patience is a virtue. So being able to let your plan play out, you know, is something that not a lot of people really are able to do outside of like low resolutions. So, you know, been trying to back you guys up, make you zoom out, slow down, let things, you know, happen in their fair span of time without like freaking out you're gonna miss something. So I want to show you something like just like looking at like how slow something can take to form itself out. So you guys who are acolytes, you obviously get your market prep channel, and in here, you know, we draw up some plans for you guys. Let me make sure I've got my monitor up and I can see that my screens are showing correctly. All right, perfect, right? So this was kind of what we're looking at. You're AAD if you have time, I'll try to get there. So we look at this, right? Drew up a simple plan, simple range to look out for shockwave structures above, and see if we rotate this big ass flag and continue to press upwards with everyone focused on the banks and the sentiment being where it is. No one's looking at BTC 28,000. Clearly no one's in that. We've kind of seen it, right? Like the market's vacant up here. And if it continues to be bullish, it's going to keep catching a lot of people fucking, you know, off their ass. So that plan right there was drawn up for you guys on Monday. And where did it go? Same plan, right? Same flag. What do you say, 30 minutes? 30 minutes. Not much has changed, right? In a whole week, this thing, if you sucked in too close, it could cut you to pieces. You know, if any of you are trading like futures and you're trading like this guy, you know, he's been pretty brutal. All right, this session alone was just fucking death. And one of the things we talk about, like, you know, if things are not cleared first, it's a problem of resolution. Many of you would see this as expanding formation, right? And it'd just be death to you to come into this. But perspective matters. And we deal with these overnight futures, right? It's really the bottoming corner of a bull flag on a resolution where there just wasn't liquidity to play this. And so patience in the right resolutions really matters. This is what a lot of people don't have, to wait for the trade to come to you. They go in every day and they're going to do the same thing on the same resolution, and they're going to get cut up on some days that look like that. They're going to bankroll on days that look like this, and they're going to be none the wiser that they played through this and played into that and played through this and don't know what's happening to them. So patience is a thing, you know. I made one plan for you guys on Monday. It's all you need still for this week to come into this week. You don't need a ton of charts. You just need quality charts, right? Get all that. Get all that. So how'd you guys do? I know I was missing on the back end there, didn't have a Friday show, but I'm hoping that you guys navigated the week pretty good with the amount of intel that we have. I see that you guys liked Golden Child a lot. That got some insanely high views compared to like what we've been having. So definitely enjoyed seeing that. What was your guys' biggest takeaway from Golden Child? Why that one resonated so much with you? There was a lot in it. I know there's a lot in a lot of last shows. But I did notice that Golden Child Lake was exceptionally high compared to, I think it's the highest since the Winter Solstice special. So 1,300 views on that one. That's pretty dope to see it. So it lets me know that you motherfuckers aren't dead. You're still out there. How much alpha do I got to pack into a show for a rewatch, guys? Like, come on. So much alpha required. Is there any other stations you're going to with this kind of alpha? You love the nerdy shows? Is that what it is? I guess I'm flabbergasted. I always thought, like, you know, I always endeavor to keep any very complex things simple and don't talk much about, like, you know, term structures or backwardation of those things, because all is captured in the you know, the simple of the TA. But those are definitely more nuanced understandings of price dynamics. You know, the derivatives market exposes some amazing things. It takes a lot of qualitative aspects of our emotion and quantifies it, and, you know, takes what seemingly chaotic chart and makes it very stochastic and allows, you know, volatility traders to trade our emotions, like, you know, highs and lows. The market ultimately is comprised of the emotional tapestry of all its participants, the smartest and the dumbest. You know, extracting fear out of it through derivatives is just a genius maneuver. that they did in the derivatives market. And it's just, that's decades ago. And it's amazing just the mathematics of markets and how all of what we think is our natural individual behaviors can really be captured in something like that. But yeah, that's too nerdy for the show. So the average viewer doesn't give a flying fuck about term structures and stuff like that. But it's very fascinating what's captured in that stuff, All right, I'm done with my morning doob. Sorry. Show art was a rough. I was trying to come up with a good idea of how to look through the tea leaves and see the message in the markets. And so the art took a little bit. Illogical states in the market and being able to predict potential mass shootings in the population due to backwardation in the human asset class is insane. Yeah, I actually, when I laid that over, I was like, geez, do I even want to fucking put this public? It's like, so we can tell with like major distress in the markets that as the the herd dynamic goes, the outliers of the population will pull guns and shoot people. So like, when we say that market bottoms are made of dead bodies, it is so fucking literal that it's actually mind blowing. But yeah, that's probably one of the crazier studies that we were put to video. So see where that ends up. It's 9:08. Yeah, I'm later than holy fuck. So it's going to be one of those fast Warp 9 shows. But I'm going to get everything in there that you need. So first, let's see if you guys gave me a war story. I think somebody had written a book that I didn't get to last time. So I'll do the book. All right, so first things first, let's check out Izzy did or events. Earnings we care about this week. Let's see, anybody we give a shit about that's market moving. I don't see anybody that I give a shit about on there. I think is like something we care. Forex events, not as red a week as last week was fucking insane. Tuesday, consumer confidence you care about in session. Bank of England, not as much as the Fed you care about, but what they say could be important. Final GDP for USA we care about, and unemployment claims Thursday. So that's probably our most important day is probably Thursday with these numbers pre-market, and then of course Friday. So yeah, nothing crazy, pretty normal week for events. And all right, so this book, let's see if I can read this in a meaningful amount of time. This is from Bart Sully. Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back to the Eco. All right, book warning. It's been incredible to see the accuracy and personal improvements across the Eco recently. Everyone is on fire. Kaz, I hope your time away was just what you needed. I was active and participating in Eco back in early 22. Have been watching shows for something like 5 years without any real action. That's amazing. I only went on the air. Well, yeah, I'll be in my 5th year in August this year. Jeez, is that really? That's crazy. Holy fuck. All right, heading into summer, I was caught by the drift, or perhaps more appropriately, a riptide. I was taken way off track. All good habits went out the window. I wasn't looking at charts. Hold on, it says I'm lost track of it. I wasn't looking at charts or even thinking about trading, and for the first time in years, I even stopped watching the shows. After some time, I managed to notice this had happened as a result of some introspection after wondering why I was feeling low in general about life. I decided to change little habits first. I began to read books again, and I rejoined the gym, exercising regularly. I also made sure to start going to bed earlier and to be waking up much earlier than I had been. The results were almost instant. I had started to feel much better, and my head began to feel much clearer. I then began to lurk again in the Eco. I know this isn't the right thing to do, you damn right, but it was a baby steps back. The value I began to take from the Eco with a fresh and clear mind was on another level. One of the main lessons I took was from Kiki, talking about planning your time so to be able to enjoy work, pleasure, and the Eco. I was guilty of not planning any of this, and therefore not putting the right amount of time or effort into any one thing. The result was improving at nothing and not fully enjoying anything. This led to me cutting a far more short-tempered person than usual, with other aspects of my life therefore being detrimentally affected. This is something I had read a million times in Eco, but had never really sunk in until then. This happens almost daily now. Anyway, skip forward a few months of 1% improvements, and this has led to a new level of introspection for me. I have recently dealt with a massive emotional issue in my life, which was such a weight on my shoulders and a cause of a lot of self-doubt. Of course, I had realized it was as it had been so repressed. It allowed me to see how certain behaviors in some areas of my life are exactly the kind of behaviors which cause the issue. If I can behave in the very way which caused me such pain without even noticing, then how much else do I block from myself? A superb eye-opener in terms of our bias and our brain's ability to block information from us. Finally, I've begun to journal and take detailed notes of the shows. I'm sure there is someone listening to this who has read the importance of journaling a million times without taking action. So hopefully this can start one other on a new path of improvement. Without notes on the show or journaling, I felt like I was floating through space with Kaz's info and lessons all around me, but I couldn't grasp onto any of this info. Journaling creates a pathway with this information, a bridge of information that you can see clear direction of where you're heading, as well being able to check the path behind you. It's simple. It simply is crucial. First trade back after all of this. -1R, then 3Rs on DXY. You can also see later that I have noted the yellow circle, which I felt a feeling of FOMO here. I labeled this as I was watching the chart and felt the pull of FOMO, which proved to be almost the exact top of that wave. I would never have had that level of introspection before, so to actually notice my own feelings, then understand its importance, and help use it in my analysis was amazing. That's a very deep level of introspection. Well, welcome back, and I'm glad you actually recognize how your habits actually ripple into everything else you do. It's something I try to tell a lot of people. Your chart of you is the way you live, and the way you feel about things is the way you act on them. Thought precedes actions. If you feel like shit, you're gonna take a less than fucking valuable action that you could have if you maintain yourself. So, maintain you and your health first before you worry about trading, right? Trade to live, not live to trade, right? So, health is wealth, all that stuff. Mental health is a big deal in this thing, and this is a very taxing job. So, taking care of your mind and stuff is very important. The chart will be there. But very good, man. I appreciate you putting this out there. I think this is something really good for a lot of people to see that have been in eco and drifted off and come back and forth. We've been around for a long time, so there'll be a lot of people who've had life cycles happen in this eco, of all sorts. So I think this is a very valuable, just a view into somebody's mindset of what's going on with them over time. And you have to live your life with this. Like Kiki said, you have to plan this with life, right? This isn't supposed to take over your life. If that happens, you've gone full degen, and you need to take a step back. Appreciate the write-up, man. Thanks, Bart, and welcome back to the Eco, man. All right, that was a book, 914. 111, not the best viewers, but not the worst views, but appreciate everybody that's here. I know I'm really fucking late. Started the show at 9 o'clock. Kaz, what's your opinion on the housing market? Rates are rising, but supply is really low at the moment. Illogical. So yeah, Brandon. So supplies have been crunched. It's pretty amazing. Since I was big in housing, from refi times 2003 to foreclosures, where I stopped really actively dealing in those in 2016, the supply of properties in the southeast United States, like Florida, have just stayed pinched. Builders have never caught up to the demand. There's just insane demand for properties there. And even with rates rising, right, properties are still going off the market at insane speeds. I think it's kind of just a fact of the matter that you have a high inflation situation right now, and you have a supply crunch. And the fact is, when I told you, we're going to end up in a place where the average citizen is just a glorified renter, right? No one's going to own assets. So there's this pinch on assets that you can see out there, that's not really budging, and the average person's not getting a price to come down like they're hoping for 2009 to scoop up these cheap houses. It just seems to never be coming back. And all the right factors are kind of combining that even with higher rates, you're still not getting an availability of supply to bring prices down, to give people a shot at those ridiculous discounts that they saw. You're just going to a place where everything is rising and no one's going to get a chance to own things. And the fundamentals for housing are such that, at least in the U.S. housing market, there is not an outpacing of supply over demand, even with high rates. Institutions, as long as they can make money off of sucking those properties up with the cost of funds that are available, are going to keep doing it, and it still exists. The spread still exists for them to pick it up with the cost of funds today and still rent it out to retail. So they're still the main bid in the marketplace. I think people want to see the prices crash, and that sentiment's what do you think about housing? As far as everybody in retail goes in housing, I want to see houses down to get a discount. That's the only reason you ask that question. No one's asking because he's you think my house is going up a lot more? Everyone needs a chance to get in. People are looking for interest rates to affect it negatively, and that's the sentiment. And it's literally telling you that there's enough demand there that it's not moving, with interest rates or not. When people don't think like that, yeah, maybe you get a deflationary bust of some sort. But I think 10 years, 15 years out, the entire planet owns nothing. They rent their transportation, they rent their fucking living space, they own shit. They have no equity in the system. Izzy, Fed speaker out of quiet period with FOMC over. Fed speakers lined up to talk each day of this week. So worthy of note, those motherfuckers can move markets. So if you guys are active day trading, pay attention to who's talking and when. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the housing market. All right, 917. So showed you guys that, like, market hasn't really done much. You're kind of waiting right now through the way these Qs have lined up. So if you had this plan, it was a cool day plan if you traded it. This is, let me get the Qs from, that's not the Qs from the show. Where are the Qs from the show? Oh yeah, I brought this guy to the Dow 100. You get this guy. Memento. I know, one sec. Damn, where the hell is it? So again, keeping things in perspective, right? This is our Dow 100. You guys remember this guy, our 6-month, 100-year Dow chart. And, we look at this thing and you always want to come back to this guy. I come back to this guy a lot. And let's see. Did I not hit that button? Did I hit that button? Right? The simple of our markets is they move in waves, right? Consolidations and markups, consolidations and markups. This is a projection on Truth of Money on my blog. And just looking at the major waves of the market, how it moves, from impulse to consolidation impulse. And we want to kind of pay attention, right? These macro impulses like encapsulate all kinds of crazy news flows that at any one given moment you think it's the end of the world. This is Black Monday back here. If you look at this spot, that's Black Monday. This is all of Billy Clinton's era. No one even remembers this, And so you have these like phases coming up that like really do psychologically throw people off of the macro of what's happening, and they get sucked into every bit of the news flow. And really, when you back up on it, right, it becomes a blip on the radar over time. So looking at the Dow, Black Monday is actually captured here, right? And this is what I call Icebox Range 2. And COVID is technically, basically, our Black Monday up here. It creates the same structure in the same location, Icebox Range 3, and we've now sustained over it. This is the Dow for 100 years. We have a version of it also back here in the 50s. So in looking at this structurally, right, we could be in one of these, this very blue markup range that we have here. This is still continuing since I made this chart in 2019. I made this chart in December 2018. We're still continuing here, and COVID is contained within this system, and still in this markup. This is still structurally intact. So, looking at that, like, back up and we look at things like this is the NASDAQ. We made this chart on the show, I don't remember when, it was a while ago. We put them logarithmically, right? And you get them to look like the Dow. You stretch them out. This is going to 1974. And you look at this and like, that just doesn't look as bad as people are fucking acting like it looks. Could you fucking rotate down and come down and make a bigger bull flag? That's possible. We are keeping our eyes on it with that. That's why we pointed out what we did about gold on the Golden Child. So, but these are the two scenarios you have. Either this is a lot more bullish than people fucking think it is, and people aren't in this thing, which it does appear people aren't when we look at crypto and we look at stocks, and the news flow has people completely mind fucked. Ultimately, I think the Fed will become more accommodative to risk assets in 2024, but that's a year away, right? So I do think they're nearing the end of the cycle, and the next rate hike could be the last one if they do another one. So ultimately, that pressure that they're putting on the market is waning already. It's not like it was in 2022. So that being said, pay attention this morning. Banks again are up pre-market, so banks are definitely stabilizing while no one wants to pay attention to it. A good barometer of fucking risk assets. Seeing Nvidia up in semis, seeing Tesla up pre-market. The sentiments really, people are not looking at this market bullishly, not from crypto to stocks. So, that's kind of what we're kind of looking at. And if it doesn't fall into plan, it doesn't fall into plan. But for right now, I think things look pretty all right. So you acolytes, use your planning. You know how dick rules work if you're on that resolution. You know how to, plan on bigger resolutions. So that should kind of give you guys an idea where you're at. So SPY things, or sorry, we're coming to this chart. This is the one from the show we use all the time. And right now, right, we're congesting right here on this flag and attempting to rotate up to this high angle, which is the down angle since Fed policy started to deflate the market. SPY version of things, keeping track of where he is. He's not looking like the Qs. Tech is leading this thing, but we are looking if he can rotate this angle, following through. Pre-market, he's right here. So how the SPY handles this angle today, you do give a shit about. SPYs have a little bit of strength from oil. So there's a little strength in energy this morning, and that might be worth paying attention to. Energy's been pretty shitty for a while, so we want to see when that guy picks up some strength, right? So pay attention to XLE. He's down in the dumps a bit, but he's also in a range that he can find support. So CL1, oil. See if this actually, really bottoms and allows him to bottom rotate, but it's been a pretty long-winded decline on this guy. So not fully rotated yet, but something you keep on the radar, right? Planning a higher res. All right. Let's see, DIA, Dow Jones, still keeping an eye on him. All right, our entire NAS rally has really been the banking sector taking fucking the industrials off a cliff like that, and really creating a split in the marketplace, which created that VIX spike and the backwardation. But meanwhile, tech itself was completely going in the opposite direction. So we do want to keep eyes on the market that way, right? It's one of the things you want to look at things like this and kind of see where the strengths are, what really carried the market, on Friday, where was the strengths at? What's been doing it for last month, and that's where the damage is, right? It's been weak in energy, it's been weak in financials, but tech has been rather strong, and so the market is split. It's not all bad, so you don't want to broad stroke things like that. All right, been following this chart into the new year. It's crazy, but remember, one of the things we marked with the murder clutches is density. Like how many of them were occurring in a packed area of time. And this is the Chinese New Year ones that we use. And this is coming into March. It's fucking crazy, right? So if we're following this along, I probably need a new cluster here in mid-March, March 14th. It's fucked up we keep using it, I know. Let's see, SPX 500. All right, mid-March is March 14th, right there. It's just crazy, but you see where it is. It's March 14th. Is a good, nice cluster right here, packed in tight in the middle, and yeah. So that right there is under the Qs also, which is right there, March 14th. It's right in here. So we're packed up against a good trigger on here. Pay attention today, might get some gas, right? So that being said, BTC's kind of clustered up there nicely on a trigger also. Coming off of that, where's March 14th on him? March 14th, 13th in that area is here. And you broke out of this trigger actually March 14th. That little cluster right there, you're popped above it. So definitely keeping track of where you are. Like you said, the next emotional area we care about is Trollex up here. Their emotional area from fucking August where they trolled me. Key area. Good, nice cluster. I don't know. What the fuck do you want me to say about it? Jesus Christ. Anyways, we're short in time. It's 9:25. I'm going to put those symbols up, and I will try to do a couple of them really fucking fast. But this should kind of give you guys an idea what you're paying attention to. Still the same evolution what we've been talking about for the last month and a half. So nothing massively different. DXY things. Yeah, I sound like a cold-hearted asshole. I know. DXY things right now, he pulled down, he was a little weak and stalled for a minute, and we're watching that with how he does EURUSD. I still think EURUSD has a chance of rotating to this angle, but right now he came outside this expanding formation, so pay attention to this right now. If the euro gets strength on the dollar and stocks are stronger, that would be double bullish. VIX things, VIX settled down from the spike on banking right now, back into the box range under Stevie D. Stevie D is a trigger. He goes back through this, you want all eyes on it. 22.69. Watch for the monolith killer, see what he does. Go back to 21, even more bullish signs. So, right, keep an eye and see if this keeps on fading. All right, it's a matter of perspective. Indeed it is. Guys make me sound like a bad guy. XCVX, XCVX UNL. This is my last chart for X. What is going on with this chart? Logarithmic. Okay, so we had X. I think we have an angle here, like he could fade to an angle. This was drawn a while ago. Looking for him to break through this trigger. Still think that's the area for it, and it failed just recently off of that trigger. So I like, you know, at this moment in the space, think it's like we drew this out and see he could rotate angles. He did. This is the lower angle. You want to see if he managed to recover and come back up. This trigger's still the line in the sand for X though. I think Nucor is like your stronger guy in this space right now. And you're kind of watching both of them consolidate, you know, up here. But Nucor above his trigger. X is still under a trigger. I think if Nucor rotates up again, X will probably get pulled through that. CVX. You say CVX or CV? What did you say? CVX UNL. CVX. CVX right here. Good structure on him. Like I said, if energy picks up again, you're paying attention. These guys are all in pullbacks with it. And I think you'd be just kind of watching for this corrective structure. As long as he holds above this, this is still bullish, right? If he doesn't take this level out, it's still bullish. So I think these guys are, you know, are worth keeping eyes on. UNL. We've drawn this guy before, and we have a big old box range of volume on this big flag he's got in 2021. That's pretty much the range to have him find a base if he's going to find one. Yeah, I think it's the area you're paying attention to. Then putting the low from here, from this high right here. Yeah, I think that's a good area to watch and see if he can bottom and rotate this again. That might be worth paying attention to, and that might tell us something about like energy as a whole. TPL, Texas Pacific Land Corporation. We did that a long time ago. Looks like we did it once. Whenever the hell you guys asked about it, I guess it did its thing. So that's pretty funny. I can't even remember doing this chart. All right, so he did a bull flag and he held his top of his system and he took the fuck off for all of 2022 and he's coming back into this system. That's kind of steep. It's pretty funny. I hope somebody played it from the last show whenever the hell that happened. I think that's all you're tracking right now. It's pretty steep. He could kind of make some angles within this if he wanted to, and you could kind of track that if you felt like it. But I think he's pulling back. As long as he holds his floor, he's still in an uptrend. It's just kind of fucking insane with the pullback. But it's steep for now, but he could very much rotate again. Where we at? 929, guys. I gotta throw a currency in here. You guys always ask when I never get them on here. USD JPY, Leon still in fucking tact. Rotation of bull flag, counterwave back. Watching to see if DXY gets any strength on him. Decent area to pay attention, right? Low, 2B, retest. If he holds that and rotates up again, he could rise back to the top of this. So that might be worth paying attention to. And you always want to check a couple of the other JPY guys and see if they have like, you know, possibly a basket structure. This guy fizzled off of here, but still holding the congestion that rotated up. So if he holds this and rotates up, you can see JPY weakness across a couple things. Jesus Christ. All right, so all these guys should be kind of watched because I think you're probably looking at like broad-based JPY weakness if you see this happen. Somebody asked Euro Aussie in the beginning of the show. I think I saw that. Euro Aussie, if you guys remember, we paid attention to this guy also. He kind of gives signs of like de-risking potentials in the system. So we've drawn this dude up. This rotation here, if you look at it, this is really reflecting of the banking system. There is really a split with the de-risk that you see in the market. It's not fully like swept everything yet. But if this guy keeps on going strong, he's usually not a good indication for like, you know, as you can see here, this is backwardation, and you can see Euro Aussie tends to fucking really get gas when the market fucking de-risks. It's very rare you'll see it fucking get weakness. So if the market goes backwardation again and we start to see gold strength and, you know, de-risking assets be strong, this guy is probably, you know, an early warning if he keeps on being this strong. All right, I think I'm out of time to fucking be responsible. It's 9:31, motherfuckers. So for all you guys that are ready to be crackheads on the bell, I guess you get the fuck out of here. Since I've gone into the bell, fuck it, I'll do another couple though for anybody else to hang around or come watch it later. CCJ. I think I have play for him. CCJ. Let's see. There he is. Fucking fill in. I know this thing's fucked up. This week, Jackson. Oh, man. Look at that. It's just fucking me now. What the fuck? I guess it wasn't meant to be. It won't work. All right, there's CCJ. And that trend line is completely wrong. I don't know what's going on here. Do you believe this? It just won't work. All right, guys. That's a fucking sign from above. It doesn't want to work. I'll let you guys go. We'll catch you on the flip. Stay safe out there till Wednesday. Peace, motherfuckers.
Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly.